Clowder contributor spotlight. Juice, she, her, he, him, or neopronouns. Please note the audio component of this interview may have a couple of extra sentences and giggles. Meowdy folks, the spotlight for this month is Juice, who uses she, her, he, him, or neopronouns. For content warnings, this interview doesn't really have any. It's pretty wholesome. Juice, can you do a little land acknowledgement for us?
I live on the unceded land of Comanche and Lipan Apache peoples.
Thank you. Can you tell us what your sign is?
In the Western Zodiac, I'm an Aquarius. I don't know the rising or whatever fancy stuff. And in the Eastern Zodiac, I'm a wood tiger.
I love that so much. How do you identify, Juice?
I am a white, autistic, ADHD, bigender, bisexual person in my 30s. And I'm mostly able-bodied, but I do live with chronic pain and wear corrective lenses.
I love that you're all the bi things.
Yes. I'm not really bipolar.
Yet.
So, not yet.
Well, just because you don't have a diagnosis doesn't mean it's not true. You never know. So, what are your special interests, your hobbies, or your favorite fandom?
Well, my favorite fandom would have to be the Assassin's Creed franchise, because the concept of the people fighting for social justice and human rights, even against massive oppression, really resonates with me. And also because I enjoy sci-fi drama and historical fiction, which is all interwoven into that. Ubisoft, which is the owner of the franchise, is definitely a company with a lot of problems. So I do consider myself part of the Assassin's Creed Sisterhood, which is a kind of online movement of feminist Assassin's Creed fans that try to fight misogyny and other kinds of bigotry within the Assassin's Creed fandom and within the company of Ubisoft as well.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I am in their Discord server, but it's very big and overwhelming. I'm mostly in their Discord server for the emotes and special events that they do. When there was the earthquake in Syria and Turkey, when was that? Earlier this year, last year? There was a big multi-stream charity event that they did for fundraising for people who were affected by that. I think it's really nice that they do these sort of events.
How did you find the Clowder, Juice? Do you want to tell us your origin story with the community?
Well, I was in the Discord server of Willow, who's a quite, I guess, famous Twitch partner streamer who is a trans woman. And they have the self-promo. She has a self-promo channel in her Discord, like, you know, every Discord has. And I saw a genderful stream announcement, and I forget which, it was probably like a genderful stream that caught my eye, and I wasn't able to watch the streams for a while because they overlapped with my work hours. I would be out doing work, and then I would get the notification on my phone like, oh, genderful talking about neurodiversity with such and so. And I'm like, oh, that sounds amazing. I'll have to watch the VOD. And then eventually I was able to catch the streams, and the rest is history.
Yes. The rest is also the next question. What do you contribute to the Clowder?
Well, I do the majority of the pre-show work for Genderful, the process of finding and scheduling guests and crafting interview questions and so on. It's a lot to tackle. I also help a lot with finding and posting solidarity resources.
Yeah, the solidarity resources team is really cool. It's important work because, you know, we have a community of activists essentially who care about trans rights, disability, anti-racism, and more.
Yeah.
And so resources, of course, are created or shared around, and then it's our more formal way of sharing that information out with the broader, you know, network of Discord servers that we're connected with. And now we also have that publishing on the Substack. Is there more about that you want to share?
Well, I think that it's maybe an underappreciated thing that we do. Not that I'm doing it to be appreciated, but I think maybe it's not as visible as like the streaming stuff. Would you agree?
Yeah, you know, I've been thinking that I wish we had someone who had the time to go interact with like server admins at different sort of Discord communities and actively ask them to add a partner channel for this content. because I think the power in it is being able to publish on the server and have it auto publish out to a bunch of other servers. It's that grassroots connectivity. And there's no one who's in charge of sort of cultivating those connections and broadening the reach. And so I agree with you that it's not interacted with or seen as much. That's part of why we wanted to add it to the Substack, because it's primarily a written form communication. But our Substack is also so new, at least as of this recording, that it hasn't been super deeply engaged with.
And sometimes the resources are very time sensitive, and because we have limited people power, I don't want to say manpower, we have limited people power, it doesn't go to the Substack immediately. For example, when Missouri enacted their restriction gatekeeping on trans healthcare, we put out a solidarity resource the week before that such and so health company is going to give out HRT evaluations and treatment for free if you live in Missouri and you establish care with them now. They'll give it to you for free. But if that gets posted to the Substack months down the road, it's not going to help people.
Yeah, I do think, though, that's an example of something that's good to sort of blast out on the Gender Meowster socials.
Yeah.
So it's a different team, right? So it requires the collaboration between the resources team and the social media team. But thankfully, we're all pretty close friends and can chat about things like that.
Yeah, well. We're not siloed off, because a lot of people are on multiple teams. It's a good organizational format.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people in the contributor pile who are ADHD. So it would be really hard for any of us to only be on one team. What do you love about the Clowder? Why is the community and its content important to you?
Well, I enjoy the queer and leftist camaraderie and the radical inclusion of diverse identities. It's also important to me that the community, including the leadership, takes steps to always do better and learn about oppression we might be unknowingly participating in, and we're unlearning and unpacking our various biases. So we call each other in or out in a friendly manner when if someone says, I'll be writing something and then someone else speaks up and says, hey, such and so word that you used has a racist origin and has such and so backstory that you should use this instead. And I'm like, that is good to know. Yeah. Or oh, I heard about such and so streaming platform, and someone else comes in and says, that platform is full of right-wing radicals. You don't want to be involved in that. And I'm like, good to know, because Google didn't know about that.
Yeah, I'd say it's also not purely corrective. There's a lot of other people will share content that's really wonderful.
Very casual, and when it needs to be casual, and then we do have, we're serious when we need to be serious, and we're having fun when we need to have fun.
I love that we have the capacity for both seriousness and play. Mm-hmm. It's wonderful. Can you share with our patrons in your own words why we're grateful for folks who are subscribing on Patreon, who give monthly on Ko-Fi, and the other ways that people contribute financially to the Clowder, if there's things you've been able to do because of it or what have you?
Well, I do have to mention Meowster and the community did a huge mutual aid stream event in the fall of 2022 to raise funds for me when my work hours dropped dramatically. And I was like, how am I going to pay my rent this month? I can't. And I was like, oh, should I take out this loan from my bank that I don't know exactly the terms of it? Or I had made this post of I need money, I'll pay y'all back. And then Meowster reached out and was like, you know what? Let's do a mutual aid event so you do not have to pay us back. And that was incredibly generous, and we blasted through our goal. And just aside from even that, the little tips helped me pay my rent and buy food from month to month. So I'm grateful beyond words for everything. And it's also a great experience just being a part of the team. So the monetary stuff is like the cherry on top.
Yeah. I think everyone's ongoing monthly support really gives us the foundation that we need to be able to be responsive in those times of mutual aid. Yeah. You know, if we're able to pay all of our technology fees so that we can get on stream and do what we do, and we're able to pay, you know, all of our other technology fees to make the bots and the Discord work and all of those pieces, like,
Right.
you know, it's keeping the quote unquote lights on. We're recording this on a paid Zoom subscription. And so we need, like, those are the kinds of things that we are able to do because we have this ongoing consistent support from the community. And so, you know, because we have all of those assets kind of in place, it lets us be flexible and respond when, you know, a community member has that sort of sudden dire mutual aid need. And then we can organize those events. But because we have this baseline of support, you know, then we have the tools that we need to do that. And oh man, I can't tell you how grateful I am that we have like a monthly chunk that comes in and I can rely on it and not have to stress out about how are we going to make ends meet this month.
Right, exactly.
Well, folks, if you'd like to learn more about Juice, you can check out Linktree, linktr.ee/juice tex, like Texas. What did y'all think about this post? Let us know in the comments and we'll see you next month.